Good morning and welcome to this week's Grow, where we gather to recharge, organize, and work here as members of MWEG. We're glad that you're joining us today. We are going to be talking about the MWEG Central courses and what those are. You may have seen us post about those in MWEG Central and wondered what are these courses and what are they going to be talking about and what are they going to be teaching. So we have some of the women who will be directing those courses and what they're going to be. So they're going to explain what those are. And then they'll also let you know how you can sign up if you want to be part of one or all of them, and how you can like register you. Some of them you can create a small group of your own friends or ward members, uh, sisters in your ward, however. Um, so they're going to talk about that a little bit more. So I'm going to turn the time over to Brianna Hugh. Did I say that right, Brianna? She is new at MWEG, so I'm going to have her introduce herself. Is it Hugh or is it Huff?
It's you. It's
Oh,
you.
good. I got it
Yeah.
right the first time. Well, introduce yourself and then you can introduce a little bit about courses
Great.
and who we have today.
Awesome. I'm so excited for this. So I'm Brianna Hugh. I've actually been an MWEG member since it was an itty bitty Facebook group for we were at like 500 members for like 3 minutes, and that's when I joined, way back in 2017. So I've always been involved in little things here and there. I've volunteered with different initiatives and helped out with different things and volunteered and done little advocacy, but I've never really been part of MWEG's inner circle, I guess, is primarily because I'm a school teacher. So I teach ninth grade English part-time. And so most of my personal advocacy work has always been education focused. And since that's not one of MWEG's original, their focuses, I volunteered where I could and then advocated in the spaces that I knew really well, right? Well, last fall, I saw this posting for a courses specialist. And as I researched more about it, I realized, wait, this is like the marrying of all of the things that I love, right? Um, so again, I love doing education stuff, and I feel like it's a really important piece of MWEG's advocacy, not necessarily advocating for education, but the education of its members, to kind of improve ourselves and become lifelong learners and, continue to become the people that we want to become as we advocate in our communities. And so that's kind of how I got on. And one of the reasons, and I'll just kind of go ahead and start here, maybe if my thing likes to move here. Let's see. Okay, it is not wanting to change.
Sometimes you have to
Okay,
click on it and then it like you have to wake it back up.
let me do this. Oh, there we go. Okay, yay. Um, okay, so what are MWEG courses? One of the things that, as we started developing some of these things, the big reason for courses is, especially for those of you that are new, you may have noticed that there is a wealth of information at MWEG Central, and sometimes it feels overwhelming. That you come in and you're like, oh my gosh, first of all, there are all of these amazing women who seem to know everything, and I don't know everything. So, how do I navigate my way around, and how do I access all of these different resources and spaces? And so it kind of can feel overwhelming. Plus, because we have been around now for 9 years, there is a wealth of information, and we wanted to consolidate some of that to help both new and existing members to develop their advocacy efforts in all of our focus areas. Okay, so let's just talk about this for just 1 second. Our mission in courses is to inspire and empower the women of MWEG to gain the knowledge and confidence to effectively promote peace and advocate for ethical governance within their communities. So, if you notice, MWEG does all kinds of amazing things. And sometimes, like I said, if you're new or if you're, you've been around a long time, but you've been kind of a lurker. I feel like that's where I was for a very long time. Sometimes it's hard to know, where do I start? I really want to do something. I really want to get involved, but I don't know where to start. And the beauty of these courses is it gives you an opportunity to gain that knowledge, but then also kind of gain that confidence. So let's just talk about those. Why courses instead of just like unloading information? The thing about courses that I absolutely love is that they help us build our community. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to practice some of these skills in smaller groups, whether it's with your ward members in some of these courses, whether it's with other MWEG members from across the country. It helps us build that community. It helps us support our members and give them the information and tools that they need. Also, if in case you haven't noticed, MWEG is full of phenomenal women with amazing expertise across a wide variety of areas. So we really want to harness that expertise to the benefit of each other, right? And if you're like, well, I'm not one of those experts, that's why we have courses so that you become that expert because you actually are an expert already in some of the things that you're already doing. You may be an expert in your community or in your elementary school's PTA or in some of the spaces that some other MWEG members might not know. So when you are doing your advocacy work, you are the expert. We're just giving you more tools. And finally, the reason we really support courses and really want to help our members access them is to encourage them to take action. Um, MWEG is full of great ideas, but where the rubber meets the road and where we really have the greatest amount of influence is in taking action and talking to our legislators and reaching out and doing all of those things. So let's just talk for just a second about the two key points in that course's mission. So let's talk about knowledge. As President Nelson said, good inspiration is based on good information. And we increase our knowledge, and having that knowledge based on reputable sources is the first step to any advocacy effort. If you don't know what you're talking about or you haven't been informed on this topic, it's really hard to be an advocate for it. So we want to give you that good baseline knowledge of what you're doing. But as we know, just as Dallin H. Oaks has said, in contrast to the institutions of the world, which teach us to know something, which is great, the gospel of Jesus Christ challenges us to become something. As we gain confidence in a safe and welcoming environment here at MWEG Central, this is critical to our goal of becoming more Christ-like and to becoming peacemakers. And ultimately, as contributing members of our communities, we want to be known as peacemakers and those who build bridges and those who are concerned with helping those around us. So we're just going to go ahead and get started with some of these courses, and I'm going to turn it over. First, we're going to talk about our three areas of courses that we have. First, we have peacemaking. And peacemaking, it does encourage us to become. Sometimes it's hard because there's a little bit of a wrestle in that peacemaking, right? And trying to come to grips with some of our challenges. Advocacy empowers us to act. And our immigration courses really invite us to love and to focus our advocacy efforts on how we can preserve the dignity of everybody that we are around. So I'm going to turn it over to Mabry first, and she's going to talk about the Peacemaking Lab.
Awesome. Okay. I am Mabry and I'm the Director of Peacemaking at MWEG. And yes, this is the Peacemaking Lab. So what this is it's going to be a series of courses that are all things peacemaking. So I'll tell you a bit about more of what is coming. But these courses are going to be, the first one will be a foundation course to then access all the other ones that they're built off these principles and this kind of entry point to peacemaking. So the first one we have is currently going on, and it's called Conflict Resolution for Beginners. So this is our primer course, and it is over the span of 5 weeks, and you'll meet together with a cohort virtually for 1 hour each week. And the cohorts will be about 5 to 12 people, so we want to keep it small. And this is going to be offered every month. So right now we have a couple going on in February, a couple in March, and then we're going to start rolling out one every month after that. And so you are welcome to join a course if that time works for you, or you can organize your own cohort. So we have two groups right now who've organized their own cohorts to take this. One is a group of women in Southeast Idaho that are all MWEG members that have decided to take this course together. And then there's also another group starting tonight of women who go to church together and they wanted to take this course as a group. And so those are your two options. You can join a course that's being offered at a certain time, or you can create your own. And I am going to go more in depth into what we talk about in this course, but first want to tell you guys more about the courses that we have in the works. So our next one is Building Zion, Peacemaking in the Pews. So this is going to be a two-part workshop, and we're still figuring out if we want to do it over 2 days or if it's just going to be two parts that we just do in one day. So we still have some testing to do to see the best option for that. And we are going to have our first test group next month and then hopefully roll that out soon after for enrollment for MWEG members. And this course is primarily addressing the tension that we experience in our wards and our church community. So a lot of us have experience where that tension is very present and very real, and we're having to deal with these conflicts in a very intimate and close way. And that can be really tricky and really hard. And this course is designed to meet that need and also be able to help women feel more empowered to build Zion in their local community. The next one is navigating misinformation-fueled conflict. So this one is going to be content that you read and activities that you do on your own. And then there will be 4 different modules or 4 different lessons that you're going to interact with on your own. And then you'll have discussion groups to kind of put it to practice, to discuss the things, to wrestle with it. A big priority of these courses is we called it Peacemaking Lab for a reason. We want you guys to feel like you're experimenting and you're really getting down to the nitty gritty of what peacemaking is and what dealing with conflict is. And so this is a large part of you figuring out what works for you and what doesn't. And this particular course is addressing the conflicts that we navigate in our world of misinformation and disinformation. I'm sure a lot of you have experiences where you're talking to someone about a certain issue and it feels like you're living 2 different realities. It's really hard to have conversations on facts and objective evidence. And we're at the point where you can watch the same video as someone and come away with different interpretations of that. So it's really tricky and it's causing a lot of tension in relationships. And so we're going to really figure out how to do that. And so, yeah, these are the courses that you have to look forward to. We have polled MWEG members and tried to see which courses are most relevant to you. And these are the 2 that have come up as the most high demand. But we're going to keep our ears open for the courses that you guys are interested in moving forward. And then if we're going to go to the next slide, I am going to tell you guys a bit more about what the conflict resolution for beginners course is going to look like, so you kind of have a taste of it. Like we mentioned, this is a lab, so you're actually going to choose a conflict that you're currently experiencing with someone to workshop. That's what you're bringing into this course to kind of figure out how to navigate. And so over the course of 5 weeks, the first one is understanding the difference between peacemaking and peacekeeping. This is something we talk a lot about in MWEG, and we're going to get even deeper on that and figure out what your relationship is with conflict and hopefully start thinking of new ways to engage with conflict. The second week, curiosity over skepticism is a crucial skill for being a peacemaker. And so we're going to look at the obstacles to deep listening, what makes that difficult, and how we can ask instead of assume. Third week is navigating hot buttons, and think of these as those terms or topics or words that immediately bring emotionally charged responses to. And we kind of treat them as landmines and we avoid them and walk around them. And we're going to look at what would that be to understand them more, to understand where other people are coming from and how to use language in a helpful way. in our conflicts and co-author language with each other. The fourth week, we're going to talk about finding common ground as a starting point. So we often think that common ground is the solution to conflicts, but we're going to take it a step further in this week and look at how we can find strength in our differences. How can we actually elicit those things that are causing our conflict and create things with them and actually find strength in our differences. And then the fifth week, it is very unlikely that participants will solve their conflict in 5 weeks. And so this is kind of a grounding point for moving forward. How do we stay committed to peace building and peacemaking, even when the end isn't in sight and we are realizing we don't control the other person? So what does that look like to stay committed to that path? And hopefully this gives you strength to keep going. So this course is currently open for enrollment. We have a few more spots open for our March cohort, and then you can look out for the further ones. And I just wanted to give a couple pieces of feedback that we've received from this course on the next slide. So someone said, I felt the most impact within myself, finding ways to approach situations so I don't jump right into a conflict state. The focus on understanding another person, their humanity, values, and perspective was especially transformative here and gave me a better framework to address future conflicts. Someone else said, this course also reinforced for me the importance of self-work as I strive to make peace with others. I'm not just a victim in conflict like I want to believe. There are things I can do to act, even if I can't change the other person. So our hope is that you'll realize this is a lot of inner work, a lot of personal work, and hopefully the idea is that when you transform conflict with yourself, that it's going to transform conflict with your relationships and with others. So if this is speaking out to you and something that you would love to get better at and learn more about, we are excited to have it offered for you.
Okay, we're going to turn it over to Liliana. She's going to talk about our advocacy courses.
Hi, everyone. My name is Liliana Bolaños, and I am the state programs manager at MWEG, working closely with Kimberly and Christy. Can everyone hear me? Sorry. Oh, okay. Perfect. My Wi-Fi has been a little spotty, so hopefully we get through this. But today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Advocacy 101 course, and hopefully share a little bit more about why it is so important to have this knowledge as a foundation to the advocacy work that we do. So with the Advocacy 101 course, it's called How the Government Works and How to Use Your Voice for Good. It is a 2-week long course that includes 2 virtual meetings. One is optional and the second one is required. Members will turn compassion and conviction into effective peacemaking advocacy. That is the goal of this course. And the cohorts are offered monthly. So you can sign up right now for either March or April and on. We already have 20 plus individuals in each course, which is really exciting. And you pretty much just go at your own pace. And then when we meet, the first meeting that's optional is to come together. It's pretty much like office hours. You come and share any questions that you have or any issues that you ran into in either finding out who your elected officials are, or if you struggle to find any other information or complete any of the tasks. And then the final meeting, we all come together as a cohort, share the things we've learned, any experiences we've had, and also just kind of debrief. Next slide, please. So again, a little bit more about this. This course is designed to help you understand your government, discover your personal role within it, and learn how to take effective, peaceful action as a principled advocate. Whether you're brand new to advocacy or seeking to refine your skills, this course will walk you step by step through the essentials, how governments function, how laws are made, who represents you, and how you can communicate with lawmakers in meaningful, ethical ways. Next slide, please. So a little bit more about what you will learn specifically. First of all, we'll dive into the different government levels, the different titles of the individuals in that level, what they do. Um, and then we also dive into how laws are made at the local and federal levels. And then we also identify and contact we also teach you how to identify and contact your elected officials, and then also how to track legislation and collaborate with other organizations. Next slide, please. As part of this course, you will also receive a course workbook, and you have the option to either fill that out virtually or print it and fill it out manually. But on this course workbook, you will be directed to record key information. So that includes your elected officials' names, contact information, and the different committees that they're assigned to. You will also complete short worksheets as you go throughout the course that help you identify issues that you care about. It will help you track legislation and draft messages to your elected officials. And then you will also have an opportunity to reflect on your personal motivations through the guided journal prompts. And so we really hope that this course workbook is something that you can take with you once the course is over, to kind of remind you what you learned during the course and to have an easy way to put all that information together whenever something comes up and you do want to reach out to your elected official. You have their contact information in your course workbook, and you can refresh your memory and know how to get involved in that moment. So yeah, we invite you all to consider joining. Our first cohort just wrapped up, and we had a wide range of levels of participation prior to the course. We had people that had been involved extensively in advocacy and individuals that were brand new to advocacy work, and all of them shared that they all had things that they learned in the course. And our final meeting together as a cohort was really great. We were able to hear about everyone's different experience, answer any questions, and kind of work together to get excited to participate in advocacy moving forward. But yeah, I believe that's the last slide. Yes. But yeah, if you have any questions about the course, feel free to reach out to me or Brianna. We would love to have you participate.
Thank you so much, Liliana. We're excited about this advocacy course. Okay, next up we have our amazing immigration team, and they're going to share our immigration courses.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alexa Alvarado. I am an immigration specialist on the advocacy team. I'm Nori.
Hi everyone, my name is Nori Gomez. I am the other immigration specialist alongside Alexa. So we're kind of the power duo inside the advocacy team that oversees all of our work in regards to immigration.
And so some of you may have heard of the Power of Proximity course that we were giving last year, and we've revamped it a bit and wanted to address the needs of our members, right? So after going through some feedback, we knew that there were some who were more interested in understanding the basics of immigration, what's going on, how did we get here, and understanding terms and who's who in immigration enforcement. And that's something we want to discuss and focus on in Immigration 101. So that it's kind of new, right? So we still have the Power of Proximity course, but the Immigration 101 will focus on that. And Nori can tell us a little bit about that in a second, but it will be 2 weeks possibly three. We're finishing that up right now. But there'll be virtual meetings. There'll be some things you can review on your own, and then we'll go over a few more things as a cohort. And it'll be offered monthly. The uh, and the goal there, like I said, is to really understand uh, the basics of it. There'll be time to ask questions and understand different types of status. And then for our power of proximity, this one, it'll still have some of the original uh, ways of on how to advocate, right? So we won't focus so much on the basics of advocacy, right? Because we have our advocacy 101, but it will be very focused on the local work that you can do, how you can engage with different organizations, how to uh, it I we're hoping it will be almost like a workshop if there's something you want to accomplish in your community, right? Because we do see different things going on depending on what part of the country you're in. What is it that you want to accomplish? What do you want to do and how we can support you? And of course, we if you're not sure but you want to do something, we can help you there too. And so that'll be a longer course. There'll be virtual meetings as well, and it will be offered quarterly. It won't be offered as often as the Immigration 101 course.
The main idea behind splitting the two of them was to be able to focus a little bit more on specific sections that we were able to go over in the proximity course, but we wanted to give some more attention to. So, focusing again on the Immigration 101 course, we really want to make sure that we're helping provide some historical context for the evolution of immigration policies in the United States, talking a little bit about that transition throughout history from protection and now leaning into really heavy enforcement like we're seeing in our communities today, the birth of an entire government department that's overseeing immigration enforcement throughout the country through the Department of Homeland Security, making sure that basic terms and immigration statuses are well understood, and of course, being able to talk about current events and challenges to policy reform. And we're really excited to be able to split up these two because as we went through a lot of different cohorts for the proximity course, we started realizing that there was a mixture of different women in the courses, which we loved because we got to learn from so many different perspectives and people who had varying experience in the realm of immigration policy. But some women, perhaps had worked at a refugee resettlement agency and were pretty well versed with some areas. And maybe some women were coming to this area of policy brand new with no other information. So we thought it would be helpful to be able to split up the two and be able to give more specialized attention and support to these different groups of women by creating the 101 course. So we're really excited to be able to launch that course next week and to be able to learn with this first batch of participants.
And something that we heard from a lot of our past participants too is that sometimes they didn't know how to engage in a conversation with someone that had different views on immigration, right? Or how to explain certain issues. And so it was nice to hear back from some of them and saying that they've been able to connect with others and that now they can attend a training, right, that explains know your rights, or that they've contacted their elected officials, they're talking with friends about immigration and educating them. Another participant shared how she appreciated how the course tied everything to the gospel and how we, like Christ, can make the difference to the one. It's motivated her to take action. And that's what we hope we can help others do by empowering you and giving you the tools you need to take action.
Okay. I am so excited for this. First of all, I just have to say, I have learned so much from all of these amazing women, and their insights and expertise are things that as I've been helping them put together these courses, I have learned a lot from them individually, but then also just all of the amazing resources that they have shared have really benefited me already in my own advocacy work. So we wanted to give you just a little bit, if there's any questions from any of you about courses, about a specific course, we can help you. One other detail that I didn't share, and I should have, all of our courses and all of the meetings for the courses, like they all mentioned that they have virtual meetings. Everything takes place on MWEG Central. Um, I know that feels like an assumption, but I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out. That way you understand that anybody that you, like if you want to start one of these cohorts for the peacemaking course, or anything else, if you're interested in gathering a group of women together, they do need to be MWEG members. It doesn't cost anything again to sign up for MWEG Central, but we just want to make sure that we're able to offer everything in those spaces. So we've put this QR code here. So if you are interested in signing up for a course, you can scan it and it will take you to the courses homepage on MWEG Central. You can click on any of our immigration, advocacy, and peacemaking introductory courses, and it will take you to an interest survey. And you can let us know which months you're available. And then we will reach out and let you know, okay, we've got room in this cohort for you. We'll sign you up and then we can get you going. But we also wanted to give you an opportunity if you have any questions about any of the courses, that this is an opportunity for you to ask us. If you don't get your question answered here, or you have more questions or you think of it later, because that's what I do. I don't have any questions in the moment, and then an hour later as I'm folding laundry, I'm like, oh, I forgot I was going to ask this. So you can reach out to any of us on MWEG Central. You can message me and I can put you in touch with the right people. But yeah, so if there are any questions, we would be happy to answer any of those. You can put them in the chat. You can raise your hand and we'll go from there. I think it's only in the chat, right, Rachel?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so if you have any questions about courses, we're here to help. And I don't see any right now.
Actually, if people want to come off camera, they can also come off camera and ask questions.
Yes.
We're happy for that too. Does
Again,
anybody
we love
have
building our
questions
community.
about how to access them?
Yeah.
I mean, we do have the QR code, and sometimes if you're watching on your phone, it's hard to do the QR code
Right, while you're
at
doing
the
that.
same time. But you can also look for them in MWEG Central. I will post a recording of today's Grow in MWEG Central. We have recordings of other videos there. So if you are new and you don't know how to access those, if you go on the left hand, if you're on your computer on the left hand side, you can go to videos, and you'll click on Grows, and there will be a wealth of Grow videos there where you can watch past ones. And we can put the link for courses in the comments of that video as well. Well, if we don't have any questions, then we will just say thank you to our course directors who are leading these opportunities for our members, and Brianna for wrangling it all together, for being on our Grow today. And we hope that you will find a lot of knowledge. And I just loved how Brianna did a great job of saying there's so much information and resources that MWEG has to offer, and this is a great way to kind of simplify some of these um, and put them kind of, section them out into pieces so that you can do it and not feel like you're getting information about everything all the time. But we really appreciate these women for taking the time to specialize these to the needs of our members. And if you participate in any of the courses, they'll love to have feedback too, as to how they can improve them over the time. So also, I wanted to let everybody know here on this Grow that registration is open for the MWAG conference. Early bird pricing gives you $10 off the regular ticket price. And and that is available until February 15th. So you have a few more days to get that discount, and registration will close for all of it, a hard close on March 16th. So make sure you register definitely before March 15th or March 16th. And if you have any questions about the conference, you can ask me. There are posts about it, and we are putting up the rest of the speakers and their bios um, on the conference a little bit each day as they share them with us. So be sure to check there. The conference is it's a great day of learning together, and there's also recordings and there's virtual options. So if you can't be there in person, you can participate virtually. So thank you, everybody, and we will see you guys next week as we talk about international aid. PEPFAR, you've heard us talk about that. We'll have a guest to give us an update on that next week. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.